Hello everyone, and welcome to the Redmen TV and your latest episode of Oppo Preview. My name is Dan Clubb. I will be your host for this one as ever, and I'm delighted to say I'm joined by former Aston Villa midfielder Ian Taylor for this one. Ian, how are you, mate? You good?
I'm good, Dan. I'm good.
Good man, top man. Thank you so much for joining me. Fresh back in the UK after a little trip to Belgium, a little jaunt to Bruges this week. We're going to discuss that in more detail in a moment. We are here, of course, to look ahead to build up to Liverpool taking on your beloved Aston Villa this weekend at Anfield, of course. We'll start off with the form, Ian, if you don't mind. Obviously, remarkable season last time around. Unai Emery has done nothing short of miracles. He's worked wonders since arriving at the football club, post Steven Gerrard, of course. There's been a slight wobble at Aston Villa, I think it's fair to say, these past couple of weeks. Still sixth in the Premier League, still with every chance of qualifying out the Champions League. Huge table that is. But what have you made of the past couple of weeks, really?
Yeah, it has been indifferent. We've hit such levels in the last season or so. It's been hard to sustain that this season. Although, we have added to the squad and made the squad depth that little bit better. But, with the competitions that we're in, Champions League, we're getting used to that kind of thing now, aren't we? And we have found it a little bit difficult, although, our Champions League form has been good up until this week. But mixing that with the league form, it has been a little bit difficult. And like you say, the last few weeks has been a little indifferent and not like us, to be honest.
No, not at all. No, Unai Emery he's got a brilliant track record in Europe, hasn't he? So I think navigating sort of squads through both competitions and being successful whilst doing it is sort of his stock in trade, if you like. And he will do that at Aston Villa, I'm certain of it. And he's already started, as I say. The signs are really positive. That win over Bayern Munich, of course, was a night to remember. Yeah. And like I say, a slight blip in midweek, but again, strong start in the league, strong start in Europe, really promising start of the season for Aston Villa. And you touched on squad depth there. Obviously, there was a little mini turnover in the squad over the summer. What have you made of sort of how he's managed to sort of cope with that and freshen it up a little bit? And Aston Villa, to me, and you'll know better than I do, obviously, but it feels like there is rotation there is options from the bench, and it's more than just on John Duran as well.
Yeah, that's right. He has had that conundrum with John Duran. Although, it was fantastic to see him sign a new contract. I think we did really well to get him to sign that. Because I know he was almost off in the summer and there was a lot of eruptions around that. But I think that was a massive coup for us. But I think not just some of the signings that he's made, some of the guys that we've got coming back from injuries as well. We had some long-term injuries with Tyrone Mings and Kamara, Buendia as well. It's not very often you see a team having 3 cruciate ligament injuries and with people out for almost a year. But they were almost like new signings themselves, which have added to the squad. So, which has been fantastic for us because they're good players for us. And, hopefully they'll play their part this season.
No, absolutely. I'm certain they will. We've already alluded to Unai Emery. I mean, Ian, you can just wax lyrical about him for the next minute or so if you want, but he has done a remarkable job since arriving at Villa Park, hasn't he?
Yeah, I know. Since your old friend Steven Gerrard's gone, we had a bit of a tough time at our club, and it just didn't go his way. I think the owners decided to make the change, and I think they ultimately just went for best in class. And I just thought, what a coup! At the time, I think we couldn't believe that we got him, to be honest. But and I think that went for a lot of people as well. But since he's come in, he's not done a lot with the squad. I think he's worked with what he's got for a majority of the time. And like I said, this summer he's added a few faces and the guys that are coming back from injuries. But as a coach, I think he's second to none. And I think tactically he's so aware and he's very astute in what he does. He looks at every little nook and cranny during the game, and he's not afraid to make changes, not afraid to play younger players as well. And he trusts everybody in the squad, which is the mark of a great manager for me.
No, definitely is. Yeah, we'll touch on one of them younger players before we wrap up in a moment because I've been really impressed with one in particular. You mentioned there how tactically astute he is and how he's not afraid to sort of adapt his style compared to sort of who he's playing against, and it will often be opposition dependent. In that case, how do you think he approaches this weekend? Because I always do this with these shows, Ian, so bear with me a minute. I had a quick look at your record against Liverpool: 11 games, 4 wins, 4 defeats, and 3 draws. So not a bad track record. But the Anfield factor, Ian, you will have played there. You will know what it's all about. It's Saturday night. It's under the lights. Unai Emery will know what that entails. Do you think he'll change his approach and his style of football because of what this fixture is?
I'm not sure. I mean, I don't want to mention the winner that I scored there a few years back.
Neither do I.
I'm sure you were going to mention that at some point. But no, I think first and foremost, he'll want to stop the rot, because we have been leaking too many goals in the league recently. The Tottenham game was one in particular where I don't think we're far from our best, and we've let 4 goals in. And last season it was one of the biggest things for us, the amount of clean sheets that we kept. So I think defensively, he'll want us to be stronger. I think he will err on the side of caution for this game, because we are playing top of the league, so you have to pay Liverpool that respect that they've earned this season so far. So yeah, I think he'll want to keep things tight. I think he'd be well happy to go away with a draw. So and me too. So and like I said, basically to stop the rot. And we know we're playing against a really good side, and I think we've got to pay them that respect.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and again, Unai Emery's not afraid to sort of change his approach and change what he wants his side to do, depending on where they are and sort of who you're coming up against. Yeah, that win you mentioned, you scored twice against Liverpool, actually. Once at Villa Park, once at Anfield. You did, yeah, you did. Another winner in the other game as well, both 1-0. Robbie Fowler, Karl-Heinz Riedler, Jamie Redknapp, Steve McManaman, Paul Ince, Phil Babb, Carra, Vigabert Song, Bjorn. That was a Liverpool team. Of course, you lined up with...
I did put a little comment on Robbie's...
the fit of their goal. I seen that. Yeah, I did see that, actually. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and you scored past David James, of course. Decent goal for those who haven't seen it. All right.
Yeah, it was all right. YouTube's a wonderful thing if they want to look it up.
There you go. Last couple now, Ian, before we wrap up. Injuries. You mentioned players coming back from injury, and there have been a lot of them. Villa have got a relatively clean bill of health, actually, according to Premier Injuries. It's just Matty Cash and Ross Barkley. 2 very good players, but again, not a catastrophe in terms of what's going on there.
No, and I think from what I hear, Matty Cash might be all right for tomorrow. So, yeah, so far, touch wood, the injuries haven't affected us too much. Like I said, the squad's a lot better now. So, I don't think we've got any fears on that front. And even when we do bring players in, they are good players. So, yeah, I've got no doubt regarding the squad depth at all.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got that like for like in terms of quality now, isn't it? Which is testament to the work done over the summer, really, as well. Key players then. Emi Martinez is key, always, I think. Ollie Watkins, of course, is a constant goal threat. He's a brilliant footballer. Really had a brilliant 18, 24 months, actually. But the player I really like, Morgan Rogers.
I knew you were going to say that.
Speak about Morgan Rogers, obviously, but in terms of Villa, who are sort of the talisman, if you like?
I think Tielemans has been fantastic this season. With our Brazilian friend who went to Juventus gone, Douglas Luiz, a lot of Villa fans were looking at that position and fretting, really, and thinking, is Tielemans the man to go in and fill his boots? And he's done that in abundance this season. He's been fantastic. I think him with Onana in midfield have been really good. They've been a good foil for each other. And but you mentioned Morgan Rogers there. He's been a revelation, coming from the Championship and just slotting into the team the way he has done. Albeit, the last couple of weeks he has looked a bit tired because he has been one of those that's played virtually every game because he's been that good. I'm not sure whether Unai Emery was thinking that he'd be that good, that he'd be in the team all the time. But but he's earned his place and he's been fantastic. It's one of those where stats for me pretty much rubbish because, up until a few weeks ago, he hadn't scored or he hadn't made an assist, but he'd been our best player, which is a weird one, really. But no, he's been fantastic. And for the money that we spent on him and the progress that he's making, he's not far away from an England call-up. A lot of Villa fans thought he might have got called up for this squad. But there are some fantastic players in his position. I've got to say that. But he's been really, really good for us, and he's been a real plus point for us.
No, absolutely. I've been really impressed every time I've watched him. I've been such a good buy, such a good sort of bit of scouting recruitment from the Championship as well. And just shows there is sort of value to be had from that second tier, although what a league the Championship is as well. Just finally then, Ian, I've got to ask you, you're not going to answer it, but I'm going to ask you anyway. A prediction.
I will answer it.
Oh, here we go. Let's do this then. Prediction for the game at Anfield tomorrow night?
I'm thinking 1-1 draw.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I'll take that all day long. Well, I won't take that all day long. I want us to win.
I'll say I'm hoping 1-1 draw.
Okay. I won't take it, but I'll take it from you as an answer. That's perfectly fine. Ian Taylor, top man, thank you so much for your time. Massively, massively appreciated. Everybody else, I'll see you and speak to you all again very soon. Take it easy.